Alright guys, so in this part we're going to be doing the trunk lid right here. And before we proceed, I remember asking you guys to do this gas tank area on your own. I still haven't done mine yet, but if I do, I'll put it in a time lapse in whatever video that comes after that. So go ahead and do it yourself. If you can't do it, you can just wait for the time lapse when the time comes and you can see how I did it. Alright, so in this part we're just going to be making the trunk lid, okay? So but first of all, we're going to make the rear glass here. So you can see right here, if you take a look at it, you can see the glass cuts out from this side like this. It cuts all the way to the bottom here and then cuts around this area. But first of all, we're going to create the glass to attach to the body of the car. We're going to attach it to all this area right here before we start cutting it out. Alright, so to begin, what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece over here, the rear fender, and let's go over into edit mode. Alright, so I'm going to go to vertex select mode, and I'm just going to select all of this edge here, all this edge right here, except for those ones down here. And I'm going to press Shift and D and right click and press P to separate the selection. Alright, now I'm going to take that piece and let's go over to the top view. Now what we're going to do first is we're going to pull, first of all, let's move the whole thing down, okay? Because if this piece here is taking this whole area, if you take a good look, you can see it still shifts down a bit. So if we move up here, we're going to have to shift it down to right here. It's why I selected that edge. So this is where we're going to start the whole thing. But this thing over here is already taking that space. So we're going to have to move the windshield or the rear windshield down a bit. So I'm just going to press G and then Z and move it down almost twice as much as the one above it. So something, let me just pull it up a bit, something like that. And I want to dissolve the extra vertex we have here. Alright, very nice. Now I want to take this vertex and let's go over to the top view. So I want to extrude it in the x-axis all the way to the center. We should have the mirror modifier in there, so that shouldn't be a problem. Now let's get rid of the solidify modifier. And now let me align this onto the blueprint line all the way to back here. And I'm going to add in 5 more in the middle here, and let's align it onto the blueprint line. Alright, now let's apply loop tools to the whole thing. Make sure the space in between them are even. And now let's get onto the back view and align it in the back view as well. Alright, so right around this area, you can see it kind of pulls up a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this whole edge. Make sure we right click on this one first and hold down control and right click on that one. And make sure your pivoting point is set to active element. And let's just press S and Z and scale this down just a bit. It's going to create quite the gap over here, but we don't want to make it too big. So just a tiny bit like that should be good. Alright, very nice. Now I'm going to take this piece and pull it up just a bit, just to give it that curvature. It's not following the blueprint line, but it's good. It's good enough. Alright, very nice. Let me just pull this up a bit. Okay. So now I'm just going to get to the top view and I want to take this vertex right here. Now let me extrude it in the x-axis all the way to the center. And let's align it onto the blueprint line right here. And then we're going to add in 5 more in the middle here, just like we did below. So just press Ctrl and R and add in 5 vertices and align it onto the blueprint line. Alright, so now it is aligned in the top view. We're going to go over to the back view now and align it in the back view as well. So we're following this curvature, this line over here, but we're just going to offset it a bit because it's the line we're seeing is from this piece over here. Okay, so just going to offset it a bit just so it moves. It sort of looks like it's moving all the way to the top here. So when we place this one on top of it, then it's going to cut it out to this area right here. I don't know if that makes any sense, but you'll get what I mean soon. So let's pull it up just a little bit beyond that, just like that. So somewhere around the middle of those two lines. Alright, so now we can go ahead and apply loop tools and then space to it just to make sure the space in between them are even. And now let's get onto the top view. Now on the sides here, we want to have only 5 vertices in the middle. So what we can do is to take this vertices and each and every other vertices in the middle of them. Or first off, let's dissolve these 3. So dissolve vertices, and we have about 6 more. Yeah, 6 more vertices. So we're just going to dissolve. First off, let's apply loop tools to this and say space, and now we're going to select this one and dissolve it. And let's do that one more time. Loop tools, space. Alright, very nice. So now what we can do is just take 1, 2, 3, 4 and press F. And I want to take these 2 and press F all the way to there. Now I want to add in 5 loop cuts, just like the one on the left hand side, on this side right here. So we're just going to add in 5 edges, and let's take this one right here, get onto the side view, make this the active element, make sure your pivoting point is set to active element, and let us press S and then Z and scale this up Okay, so we don't want to scale it all the way up, because if you take a look here, you can see it doesn't scale all the way up. It's pretty close to it. So we're just going to scale it pretty close to the top, but not all the way to the top. So something like that should be good. And now let's take this one next. I'm just going to slide it up a bit to about there and make this the active element, and then scale it up again with this one. So pretty close like that, not onto the blueprint line. And we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to slide it up a bit until it's diagonal enough, and we're going to take that active element and scale it up as well to about there. So I'm just going to do that all the way to the bottom. That's the next two. Alright, so right around this area, I'm going to scale it a bit more onto the blueprint line, because I just want to put it on it a bit more. And I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm just going to scale it close to the middle of the blueprint line. Just something pretty close enough. Let me see if I can do this with this. And there we go. That should be good. Alright, so now we can take these four and press F, and take these two and press F all the way to the bottom. Now let's take a look at this area. I think this area right here is dipping in a bit. So what we can do is to take each of these edges from here all the way to here, making sure the ones on the far right hand side are the active element. And I'm just going to scale this in the z-axis just a bit. I want to do the same thing with the next one. Scale it up in the z-axis just a bit, just to flatten it out a bit like that, as you can see. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. So I'm pretty much going to do the same thing for all of them, all the way to the top. Alright, so you can see that helps out that area a bit more, and that should be good. Alright, so now we can select all of these edges. So from here, make sure you go into edge select mode, select this edge right here, the next one, and all of the ones to the right hand side, select them all. I'm going to apply loop tools and apply space to them, just to make sure the spaces are evenly spaced out and nicely placed. Alright, very good. So now we can take that whole surface, select object, and select shade smooth, just to smoothing that surface very nicely. And as you can see, that came out really great. Let's take a look at it with the shiny matte cap. And as you can see, it came out very nicely. Alright, very nice. So now we can go ahead and enable the solidify modifier. No, not the subdivision. I'm going to get rid of the subdivision and add in a solidify modifier. Alright, so I think we're going to have to add in supporting edge loops, but first of all, let me apply the rotation and scale. And I'm going to add in the supporting edge loop on each side. Alright, so that came out really great. So on the next part, what we're going to be working on is this piece right here. Alright, so now we're going to go over, let's take this piece over here. Alright, let me just go into edit mode. I'm going to take that edge again. So this edge right here. I'm going to press Shift and D and press P to separate the selection. Alright, now let me take that whole edge, and we're just going to get rid of some of the vertices real quick. So let me just dissolve this, and I'm going to select this, select that, and select this, and let's dissolve those for now. And okay, we don't need all the ones on this side either. Maybe all the way, yeah, we don't need all these all the way down below. We don't need all that. So now let me just take a look at the whole thing. Okay, so let me take this one right here as well, and I want to take this piece here. All right, and let me just press Shift and D and press P to separate the selection. All right, now I want to take that one and take this one as well. Nope, take this one. Let's deselect this. So we have those two selected. I'm going to press Ctrl J to join them. As you can see, those two edges. Alright, very nice. So what I'm going to do is this area right here. Okay, so I want this vertex to match up with the vertex we have up here. But before we do that, let me take this whole thing here. Let me get onto the side view. And I'm just going to move this in the y-axis, all the way to there. And I'm going to move it down in the z-axis so it matches with the edge we have over there. So let me just move it in the y a bit, move it in the z-axis a bit. And I think that should be good. Yeah, and just pull it down a bit more, and there we go. Alright, so now I'm just going to delete this vertex here and delete everything else we have on that side. Now let me just take this vertex here and dissolve it. Now this one right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure the one down here is the active element. Let me get onto the back view. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is to just scale it in the z-axis, just so it is pretty closely aligned with the one above. So somewhere there should be good. And I'm just going to take this and merge it to that last one right there. Alright, very nice, not bad. So how much do we have in the middle here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is good. Okay, so let me just apply loop tools to that one as well, just to make sure the spaces in between them are even. And now they are. and now what we're going to do is let's get onto the top view real quick, and let me get into wireframe. Okay, so I'm going to take this one right here and let me extrude it all the way to here, and let me just take all of these here as well, extrude it in the x-axis all the way to there. Let me make this the active element, press S and then Y, and scale it down like that. Or I could just take this and slide it up like that. I think that's better. Alright, very nice. Let me just remove the solidify modifier for now. And let me take that whole edge and pull it up in the z-axis. Take that 4 and press F. Let me just take a look at what we have. Okay, not bad. Let me just get to the back view. See if we can align it much better, or maybe to the side view. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to pull it up a bit more. So I'm just gonna pull it up all the way to somewhere here. As you can see, this is already aligned. So let me make this the active element. Let me press S and then Z and scale this up to somewhere there. And that should be good. I don't know if that's way too high, but I think it's pretty good. Now let me just get onto the top view and let's align it with the blueprint line, which it already is. So that's not necessary. I'm just going to scale it down a bit more because I think it's too much. So all the way to some point there should be good. And yeah, it's coming out great. All right, let me get to the top view again. Go over into wireframe and let's see what we have here. So I'm going to take all of these, all right, extrude it in the y-axis all the way to there. Let me just press S and Y and scale it some more. Let me take this, slide it in here like that. All right, very nice. Let me get to the back view again. Let's see what we have. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where it's supposed to be. So we're not going to move that. We're going to keep it where it is. And let me just get to the top view again. And I'm going to take these 3. Yeah, and press F. And I'm going to take these 3 as well and press F. Let's take a look at what that looks like. Okay, so I'm going to take the whole thing, press Shift and N to recalculate the normals, and that's pretty good. I'm just going to take this whole thing, get onto the side view, and I'm going to pull it down a bit to about there, and I'm going to make this the active element and scale it up in the z-axis just like that. Alright, now let me get onto the top view and let's see if we can finish this area right here. So what I'm going to do is, let me just take this and slide it back to about here. Let me extrude this all the way to here. Let me get to the back view, make sure it is aligned with the blueprint line. So I'm going to pull it up in the z-axis to there, or we can just do it in the side view, which is not visible. So I'm just going to have to do it here. Pull it up to about there. Let me take this one, press S and then Z, and type in 0 just so it's on the same level with it. We can tweak that later. Alright, let me get to the top view now. Take these 2 and press F. And I'm going to add 1 in here, press G, move it all the way to here, add another one here, press G, move that all the way to there. And yeah, that should be pretty good, I think. Alright, let me get to the side view, see how we can fix this. Let me just take this, pull it down to about here. Take this, pull it down to about there. I think, yeah, it has to go down a bit more. And pull it up a bit more. So I'm basically just tweaking that area to look much better. Alright, very nice. Now let me get to the top view. Let me add 1 in here. And we're going to pull that up. So let me just take this as the active element, press S and then Z, and type in 0. Just to make it, just to keep it on the same level, like that. Alright, I don't think that's bad. That's not bad. That's good. Let me just take this and pull it up in the z-axis a bit more because I think it's way too flat. Alright, now we can take these 4 and press F just to see what we have. Okay, not bad. Not bad. And I can add 1 more in here, slide it up a bit, and take these 2, press F. And I'm going to press F here and F. I'll take these 4 and press F as well. And now let me take the whole thing, press Shift and N to recalculate the normals. And as you can see, that came out great. Alright, let me just take this and send it down just a bit. That's pretty good. Alright, not bad. I'm going to take this, send it down a bit more. I feel like I should add 1 more in here just to help support that area. So I'm just going to press Alt and S and then shrink it out. Okay, so let's add in the thickness now. So what we're going to do is, let me just zoom into this area, see what we have. Yeah, I think I can see it. So what we can do now is to take this whole pieces, that's the whole thing. Let me just get onto the back view. And I'm going to extrude it in the z-axis, just a tiny bit, like that. Just a tiny bit, just about the thickness of what we have on this side right here. So I'm just pull it down in the z-axis just a bit more, like that. I think that should be about the thickness we're going for. Yeah, that should be about the thickness. Let's take the whole thing, press Shift and N to recalculate the normals. And let's take that whole vertices, we extrude it again. That's the ones on the bottom. So we're just going to take all that. Let me take a look at, I think this is the area we want to take, okay? So we want to take all the ones on this side, all these faces. And we want to tweak that area a bit more because that whole area pulls down even more. So let me just deselect this and let me pull this down to about somewhere here. I think that it's far down enough. Let me just send it some more. All the way to the part where it intersects with the surface. And I think that's pretty good. Yeah, so just make sure it intersects with the surface and it should look good. Alright, there we go. So that's the area where we're going to cut in the tail lights area, or the tail, whatever that's called, that light up there, the red light. Alright, very nice. So let's go ahead and see if we can add in supporting edge loops to this. So I'm going to take the whole thing, select object, and select shade smooth. And let me just get in here. I'm going to press Ctrl and R3 here, press E, and then align it with that side, pull it close like that. I think it added it on the bottom as well. We're going to have to take care of that much later. Let me just go to local view so we can see this much better. Alright, now I'm going to press Ctrl and R3 here as well. Press E and then F. Pull it close like that. And I'm going to have to add one more at the bottom. E and then F. Pull it close like that. And let's knife this. So I'm just going to knife this from here all the way to there and into there. Alright, I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom. So knife it from here to there and into there. Alright, not bad. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to merge this to this one right here. So at last, and that should be pretty good. I think I'm going to do the same thing over here as well. So merge it at last, and that should be pretty good. Okay, not bad. Now I'm going to get to this side. Let me just press Ctrl and R3 here. Press E and then F. Align it with the one on the right hand side and pull it close like that. And let's fix this area right here. Okay, so I don't like the fact that there's a square in the middle here. So what we can do is to just take these three, making sure this is the last element selected. I'm going to press M and merge it at the last. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing down here. Make sure this is the last element selected. Press M, merge it at the last. And that area should be good. Alright, very nice. Okay. So now let's get on back up here. And I'm going to press Ctrl and R3 here. Press E, align it with the left hand side and pull it close like that. I'm going to do the same thing down here. Press E, align it with the left hand side, pull it close like that. And I would want this one to go all the way to the right hand side. So I'm going to use the knife tool and then knife this from here all the way to here. And I'm going to press space to confirm it. And I'm going to take this vertex here and take that one and press J to join it. Just like that. And that should be good. Alright, very nice. So I'm going to add one more in here as well. So as you can see, when we added it in, it ends right here. So just add it in, press E, align it with the left hand side like that. And then what we can do now is to just take 1, 2, and press J. And we can take 3 and 4 and press J. Alright, let's take a look at how the bottom area looks here. Okay, so it added it in to this side right here. We don't need all that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of those. That is from here to here and into there. I'm going to dissolve those edges, not vertices. So we're going to dissolve those edges. And I'm going to press Ctrl and R3 here, press E and then F, align it with the left hand side, pull it close like that. And I can take these two, merge it at the last, and take these two and merge it at the last. Alright, so you can see everything is coming out great. Let me take a look at this area. I'm going to press Ctrl and R3 here, press E and then F, pull it close like that. Alright, not bad. Now we just have to take care of this area right here. So I'm going to press Ctrl and R3 here, press E and then F, pull it close like that. And I think I'm going to add one more in here, press E. As you can see, it's not going all the way through. So we're going to use the knife tool here as well. But first, let's add one more. No. How are we going to do this? So this is the one we just added in. Okay, so what we're going to do is let's use the knife tool. So I'm going to press K. I'm going to knife it all the way to here, and then let's confirm it for now, and let's get onto the side, and then knife it again from here all the way to the bottom, confirm that, and let's get onto the back here, knife it again from here all the way to that vertex, and there we go. So what we can do now is to add in extra ones in the middle here. So I'm going to press Ctrl and R through here, press E, align it with the top and pull it close like that, and I'm going to add one down here as well, press E and then F, pull it close like that, and there we go. Alright, let's just make sure that went through very nicely, which it did, no problem at all. Alright, that's looking great. Let's go back to global view and see what this looks like. Yeah, so as you can see, it's looking really good. Alright, so now we can proceed on to making this area right here, the one down here. We're going to make this piece over here later, but for now, let's just do the area that's down here. So let me take this vertex here, take the very one at the end here. I'm going to press Shift and D to duplicate, right click to keep it in place, and press P to separate the selection. So we're going to take that. Let me just remove the solidify modifier. Let me take the whole thing, get onto the top view real quick. And you know what? Actually, what I can do is, okay, I think it goes down below, so that wouldn't be necessary, but let me just take this vertex here, alright, this edge here, and let me duplicate that as well. Press P to separate the selection. Now we can take that too. Select those two, deselect the windshield, and join those two, okay, as one. And I think we're going to need about, let me just get over here, and let's get rid of this extra vertex here. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the middle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here as well, and that's pretty good. Alright, so I think I'm going to move this one up a bit, so G twice, and then C, and then move it to some point there like that. And I think that should be good. And I'm going to take this one, let me just dissolve this vertex first. Take this and slide it back to there. And now we can take these two and press F. Alright, not bad. Now let's just apply the loop tool space to this area, just like that. And I'm going to take the whole thing and send it down. Okay, so we're going to send it down to the bottom. As you can see right here, it goes down a bit more. So we're just going to send it down all the way to some point there. I think it should be good. Yeah, that should be good. I'm just going to pull it up just a bit more. Alright, nice. So we can take all of these as well, apply loop tools and then space to it, just to even out the space. And we can take these four, press F, take these two and press F all the way to there. Alright, let me just take the whole thing, press Shift and N to recalculate the normals, and that is coming out great. Alright, so let me just take the whole thing now, and what are we going to do? I'm not so sure, but let's insert. Okay, so let's just press I to insert the faces, and I'm going to insert it to some point like, I think around there should be good. Let's just get to the top view, see what we're looking at. Yeah, yeah, I think that's pretty good. So I'm just going to delete the faces, just so we have that middle area. And let's just cut this area all the way to the center. As you can see, it didn't do that. So just going to cut that area to the center much nicely. And I'm going to merge this to the last one here, and merge this to the last one here. And let's just delete the edge in the middle. Alright, there we go. Alright, very nice. Let me get to the side view. And what am I going to do next? I'm not so sure, but you know what? Let me make this side a quad instead of a single edge. So I'm just going to knife this all the way to here. And I'm going to knife it here as well, all the way to the top. And I can take these four and make it a quad. And I don't think I'm going to do the same thing down here. So I'm just going to keep down there as it is. And let's take the whole thing, get onto the side view. I'm going to press E. This time we're not going to press Z. We're just going to extrude it along that axis, the default axis it gave us. I'm just going to extrude it down to about there. And let's delete the faces down below. Alright, now let's take the whole thing, press Shift and N to recalculate the normals. And as you can see, it came out great. Now we can select Object and select Shade Smooth, just to smoothing that area much more. I'm going to press Ctrl and R through here, press E, align it with the top and pull it close. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Press E, align it to the top, and pull it close like that. Alright, now I'm going to add one in here as well. Press E, and then F. Or basically, all that we can do is, we could just take all of the faces in here. So let's start from the center. So this face, all the way to this one, and then this right here to there, all the way to the center here. Alright, now we can press I to inset the faces just to add in that extra edge like that. And that's pretty good. Alright, not bad. Came out great. But I think the center here is going to give us issues. So let's undo that. And let's insert again. And let's press Ctrl B to limit the boundary just so it doesn't add one in the middle there. Like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to press Alt and S and then shrink this out a bit. Just like that. And that should be good. Alright, very nice. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, so let's get to the top view. What we can do now is to add in those stripe in the middle. That's this edges here. So we have to add in 2, 1, 2, and we're just going to mirror it onto the other side. So let me just go on and go to vertex select mode, and I'm going to take this vertex right here. That's this one. And let me just press Shift and D and move that here. Extrude it all the way to, let me just press E and then Y and extrude it all the way to about there. Let me take the whole thing, extrude it in the x-axis to there. Let me just take this, pull it up in the Y to there, and take this, pull it up in the Y to there. Now let me take both of them. Let's get onto the side view, see what we have. Let me take this, just these two, and pull it down to about there. I think that should be good. I feel like this whole piece here has to go down. So what I'm going to do is, let me just take this whole piece here. Okay, I think all of them have to go down a bit more. Let's take that whole thing, get onto the side view, and let's try to constrain it with this edge over here. So let's just try to keep that edge straight while we pull it down. So I'm just going to pull it down to about there. And that should go right underneath the trunk like that, as you can see. Alright, very nice. So what you can do now is to just take this, that's this piece right here. And we're going to extrude it in the z-axis. Extrude. We're going to extrude it up a bit like that all the way to some point there. I'm going to take the ones below and move it down in the local z-axis. So let me just change the pivoting point to local. The orientation to local. And let's go over to face select mode. And let's just press G and then Z and move this down all the way to some point there. I'm just going to delete that face now. Alright, very nice. So let me just take the whole thing, press Shift and N to recalculate the normals. That's pretty good. Alright, not bad. So let me just take this face here. I think I want to move it in a bit. So I'm just going to move it in just a bit like that. And let's just select Object and select Shade Smooth. And I'm just going to add in supporting edge loops. Press E and then F. Pull it close to here like that. And let me just add one in here. Press Ctrl B and bevel it all the way to there. Alright, now we're going to have to add some more at the top and the bottom. So press E. Pull it close to there, and let's add one more at the bottom as well, just close to that area like that. Alright, not bad, not bad. Okay, so let's get onto the top view, and all we have to do is to just take this, and we're just gonna have to duplicate it in the x-axis. So the local x-axis, just move it there. Let's press G and then Y, and then move it all the way to here. Let me just change the orientation back to global. Alright, I'm going to press G and then Z and move this up like that. And press G and then Y and move this there like that. Alright, now let me just get to the top view. And what I'm going to do is, let's dissolve these extra edges here first. And I'm going to take all of these. That's from here all the way to there, that whole area. And let me get to the top view and move it in the y-axis all the way to there. Alright, I'm going to bevel this again like that. Alright, now let me just take that whole piece and press G and then Z and move this down all the way to about there. Alright, now all that we have to do is to just create that grill area. But that grill area, what I want to do is, I don't want to have to create the actual grill. Like I said, we're going to be using textures to actually do it. We're going to be using textures to kind of fake the grill, just like we have a plane here and we're going to be faking it with a texture. That's pretty much the same thing we're going to be doing up here. So instead of actually creating an actual grill, what we're going to do is we're just going to take all of this edge here. Let me just press Shift and D to duplicate it, right click to keep it in place, and I'm just going to press P to separate the selection. And let's take that edge, let's go into edit mode and I'm just going to take these 4, press F, take these 2 and press F all the way to that side. And I'm just going to select object and select shade smooth, and there we go. That's just going to act as our grill area, and that should be good. Okay, I think this area right here is opened, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take all of these and move it in the x-axis a bit, and also move it in the y-axis like that, move it in the x-axis some more. And that should cover up that area. I'm just move it in the z-axis a bit. Now I'm going to take this, just press G twice and then C and slide it all the way there. Alright, so that should cover up that area much nicely for us. Alright, not bad. So what do we have left? I think all we have left now is the bottom area right here and the tail light that we need up here as well. So before we actually proceed, let's just finish this area first. And what I'm going to do is I'm not so sure, but let me take this one right here. Okay, so these two vertices here, I'm going to duplicate this, move it in the y-axis just a bit like that. I'm going to press P to separate the selection. Now let's take that too. Let's take a look at the reference image. We're going to be creating this studs over here. That's these extrusions down here. And let me just take that whole vertex now, get on over here, move it down in the z-axis, and let me get to the top view. Alright, so where do we want to start this? I'm not so sure. Let's start it somewhere around here. Let me extrude it in the y-axis. G, E, and then Y, and extrude it somewhere there like that. And let me just take the whole thing, get onto the side view. Let me scale it in the z-axis, press 0, and I'm just going to align it much better. So let me just pull this up in the z-axis to there. Take these two, pull it down to there. And now let me just take the whole thing, extrude it down in the z-axis all the way to there. And I'm just going to move it in the y-axis like that. As you can see, it's a bit diagonal. I'm just going to move it in the y-axis a bit like that. And I'm going to delete the faces real quick. And I'm going to delete the one up as well real quick like that. And that's looking pretty good. Let me just press G twice and then slide this up to about there. Alright, not bad. So let me just take the whole thing, select object and select shade smooth. I'm going to add in supporting edge loops now. So I'm going to add one in here, one in there. And let's take those two, press Ctrl B, bevel it to kind of cover the edges to act as a supporting edge loop. And I'm going to add 2 here and 2 here on this side as well. Not 1, 2. There we go. Alright, very nice. So we just have to duplicate this, I think 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So we just have to duplicate it 4 times. So let me just take this, Shift and D this in the y-axis all the way to somewhere here. And let me just press Shift and R. That's 2, 3, and then 4. Alright, now let me just move it down in the z-axis all the way to somewhere there. Move it in the x-axis to there. And I'm going to have to move it in the y-axis all the way to there. Move it down in the z-axis all the way to there. I think that's pretty good. Yeah. And I'm going to take this one as well. Move it down to there. Move it in the y-axis somewhere here. Okay, so I'm basically going to be aligning it, okay? And I'm just going to time lapse through this one. Alright, so once we're done this, what we're going to have, as you can see, the studs are going all the way down there. And with that done, all that we have left to do now is the tail light right here. That's the red light in the middle here, which I'm going to leave that up to you guys to do on your own. But let's see if we can finish this area right down here. So let me see. Maybe I'm going to take all of this, and I'm going to take all the faces down below. So let me just go to the local view real quick. And I'm going to take all the faces down below. That's from here all the way to somewhere up here like that. So all that faces I'm going to take, and including these ones as well like that. Let's take the ones here as well. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and these ones here. Let's deselect the last two. So just select all of that bottom area right there. I think it's selected all the way to the right. We don't need that. Alright, now we can press Shift and D to duplicate it. Right click to keep it in place and press P to separate the selection. Now let's take that whole piece and I'm going to dissolve, or let's just keep it there. Let's not dissolve it. Let's keep it there for now. And let me get over here. Alright, right here, I'm not sure. Let's dissolve this for now. And I'm going to take these two, press G twice and then C, and slide it all the way up to there. And just slide it in some more. Alright, not bad. And let's just keep it there for now. Alright, and let's go back to global view. And I want to take that piece and the windshield, and we're going to go back to local view. Alright, now let me just take this, get on over to the top view. Let's see how well we can align this. Alright, so let me just take this, slide it back inside a bit. And I'm going to take all the edge on the left hand side, on the right hand side, sorry. And I'm going to slide it in a bit like that. Let me take all the ones inside. And I'm going to slide them in. Press E and then F, align it with the left hand side, just slide it in like that. And let's take the ones on the outside again, slide them in some more, like that. Alright, very nice. Alright, very nice. So let me take the whole thing and let's change the snapping element to face, and let's make sure we have project individual element enabled. I want to press G and hold Control and press Enter just to shrink it onto the surface right there, and that should be good. Alright, now I'm just going to pull it up in the Z-axis just a bit like that, and let's extrude it down. Just extrude it in the default axis, so just press E and it should extrude in the default axis for you all the way down to there. I want to press X and delete the faces. Alright, there we go. As you can see, that's looking good. Alright, now I'm going to go over here. Let's delete all the faces down here. I don't need that face. And I'm going to press Ctrl and R through here. Press E, align it with the top, and pull it close like that. Alright, now let's get onto the top, and I'm also going to delete that faces on the top. So faces, and we just have that. Alright, now let's go back to global view. Let's see what we have. Alright, there we go. So you can see that's looking really, really good. Let's go into full screen. Let's see what that looks like. Alright, very nice. So I think that'll pretty much do it for the back area here. If you think it's not looking good enough for you, you can go ahead and then tweak it much better. But I'm just going to keep it as it is, as yeah, it already looks good the way it is. So that's pretty good. I'm going to end this tutorial on this part, and like I said, you should do the tail light piece right here on your own. I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to leave that up to you guys to do it on your own, and I'll pretty much see you guys in the next video.